Hello and welcome back to the channel. We return to the Lost Palace of Dunmorna, following up on a thrilling battle between our characters and a group of 3 skeletons that have been reanimated as they press forward into what must have been a guard room of some form. Maybe these were the guardians that had Callistra, the evil sorceress, had animated to protect some vital treasure or further access into her catacombs and her palace. Dagobert was the hero of the hour. He, using the Dice of Bane, the Mace of Bane, and also having a very favourable usage of my new D20, scored one hit after another. I must admit a slight mistake when I was looking at the footage again. Poor old Tristan again, I did not give him the benefit of the damage bonus. When he hit a skeleton, he should have added, he got half damage because of his longsword. An edge weapon against a skeleton is halved, so and we penalise him down to 2 hit points of damage. He should have got a +3 added onto that because of his amazing strength, which would crash through. I suppose it's the heavy kinetic energy of his blow that would smash the skeleton's fragile, brittle bones. But not always. Did not distort the overall position, because looking at the actual numbers involved, the skeleton was down to, I think, five hit points. It wouldn't have been killed by Tristan's mighty blow. So and then Dagobert came along, and he more than made up for the remaining amounts of damage. And in fact, every single impact that he inflicted with his mace, it almost like pulverized the skeleton opponent. You can almost see the bones vaporize as he. Maybe there was some clerical intervention going on when he was having that kind of impact. You could and the effect of his almost like his turning power was coinciding with the physical force. So a physical and moral force acting on these objects of evil and corruption at the same time, creating this almost spontaneous combustive effect for the bones exploding. And you can almost imagine like the helmet and the armor as the skeleton dematerialized, just kind of crashing down to the ground, and that's all that's left. Just a pile of almost like ashes with these bits of armor lying around. Okay, so I think that was a pretty exciting way to finish off yesterday's session. Also, we had a little thing with the rounding of fractions on Tristan, and I think I'm just going to make a ruling that you just round down always. We tend to be conservative when it comes to these sort of things. So I think I've always been conservative all my life. So I think I'm just going to continue with that kind of rule. Getting back to the actual, remember I made a bit of a mistake on my mapping, and I have corrected it through an amazing bit of 1979 technology, which we did have. We did have pieces of paper, and we had staplers. And what I've done, and scissors, the magic scissors of Bane were employed. I cut this, my original map, into and reconstituted them on, effectively that is like the same, that's one sheet of paper now, and I've stapled it onto another sheet so that I can continue with my level 1 mapping. And then we have in fact, I've just got to put in the finishing touch, which was a duplication of this chimney up 1 level. So I'll have a chimney up 1 level here too, just to complete the illusion of interdimensionality that we are trying to achieve in this game. So I think this compensates for the I should really, I suppose sometimes these things are a bit difficult to pick up when you're in the middle of certainly exciting things. Moving around a dungeon is quite overwhelming sometimes, and you just don't have the concentration. Sometimes the fundamental things, the fact that I'm on a different level. I'm going to use the convention that we have in the UK. That this is effectively the ground level. Now, I think in other countries, America, North America, you call it what we would call the ground floor. I think you call it the first floor. Well, I'm just going to continue with my UK convention, and this would be like level 0 or ground floor. So to us, it just means that basically it's on the ground. So you walk in off the street and you're at ground level. And then when you go up to the next floor, that's the first floor. And I know other countries have different conventions, but that's just the way my mind thinks. And I don't want to confuse things anymore at this stage. I've had enough confusion. So I have divided these things up into their different constituent parts. We were in room 15. And I think if we get back into the characters' heads, they are coming down from a combat high. Dagobert is on. He was on fire. He's having to be. They're saying, "Well, that was amazing, Dagobert. You really showed your mettle there. That was a terrific display of mace skills." And it just came at a critical juncture. We could have been on the back foot if these skeletons had animated quicker. We hadn't surprised them. It was a bit of a one-sided contest, we realised, but we felt an element of jeopardy there. We had to get these skeletons dispatched. We didn't know how powerful they'd be. They could be ancient warriors that have a tremendous amount of skill, and they could have unleashed terrible things on us if they'd been... And you managed to put them back to the satanic place that they have come from. Well done, Dagobert. And Dagobert says, "Thank you very much." Now, in order to recompose ourselves, we need to go back to our master sheet and look at our time, and also we're going to have to map this. So we have a rest period because it's post-combat, so we add on there. Just check on my things. Yeah. Yep. We're gonna have to map this room. So we end up that will take one turn to do because it's a 20 by 20. So we map the room. And when we looked at the key, it was room 15. There's secret doors to be found. So as far as we are aware, we can't see any exits at all on this. So we're kind of a bit confused. However, during our search of the room, we generated some treasure, didn't we? And the first item that we got was, if you remember, was 750 electrum pieces. Now, in the gold standard, that's 375 gold pieces. So that's a tidy little sum, isn't it? It's maybe a lot less transportable than 375 gold pieces, but that's it's a 1 to 2 translation rate, which is great. So, the only trouble is it was loose. It was all over the floor. So we're probably going to have to spend some time to do that. So I would say that it's going to take probably at least a turn to do that. So that is so we've got I've done a turn, so a turn resting, a turn mapping, and another turn gathering up this treasure, these electrum pieces, and putting them in one of our sacks. So Tristan's got 2 large sacks. He's putting the electrum pieces in, and they said, right, we're going to bank that and take that back with us. We also discover, and this is the exciting bit. When we finished our last roll last time, it came up with. In fact, I'll get to the actual Dungeon Master's Guide, because it was such an historic event. After having the standard 1,000 silver pieces ad infinitum, ad nauseum, we got, I think our roll, an unadjusted roll, was like about 93 or something, 92, and we added on 10, so we went way over the 100. So it went magic, roll once on magic item table, and I was struggling to remember what to do with that. But then I realised, I did a bit of research overnight. I went to page 120, where we have listed all the magic stuff, and when you're trying to generate a random magic treasure, you use these tables here on page 120, and there is one specifically called magic treasure. So I'm going to go ahead and roll on that to determine what we have. Now I have one caveat to that. These are level 1 characters just now, and I want an element of challenge and stretch for the game. Now I know it's a very punishing environment anyhow. I already have a cap procedure in place where I tone down the level of monsters to accommodate the party that I am operating. So I only think it's fair to, if I'm going to do that, to maybe tone down the element of reward. And I don't think it's going to do our campaign any favors by having something like, say we find a +5 defender or something, which is, we could get thousands and thousands and thousands of gold pieces back, and what benefit is that to us? It might be in a material sense great for the characters, and they become almost like your millionaires overnight. But it takes away all the element of what adventuring is all about. It's that kind of steady accumulation, and having to go out and adventure and having to earn what you're after, what you achieve. So I think if this generates something that is way over what we would expect, and we'll just have to use judgment there, but we won't know until we try it, so we're going to have to find out first. So I suggest we just go ahead, roll the d20 on this and see what happens. So, and it's going to be quite exciting anyhow, because who doesn't like a magic item, and certainly a magic item type table in Advanced Dungeons and Dragons, where you could have all sorts of things. We've got potions, we've got scrolls, we've got magic rings. I've never read a book about a magic ring before, so this should be quite entertaining. Rods, staves, wands, miscellaneous magic. Look at all this stuff. It's amazing. Advanced Dungeons and Dragons basically goes to town on. Look at this, armors and shit. Goes to town on the magic item industry, and I think that's part of its charm. You might sort of say, oh, why aren't you go on and on and on about these things like dragon control. And look at all these little funny tables, and oh my goodness, undead control. Oh my goodness, you've got a whole die roll on gas and scan. But this is part of its charm. It's got this infinite capacity to surprise, and this is one of the points I made. I think one of my very early sessions was that you can use bits of this. It's strange, when we let's take the example that I had right at the start. This distance table in the maps thing, I use that for backgrounds. So there's things in here, in some of these magic tables that you might think, oh, that's interesting. I could use that for some other purpose when I'm trying to determine something randomly, like a resolution. There's Rod of Resurrection. There might be some sort of random thing we can do here. Use all these type of things. Okay. I think I've done the hard sell on the thing. But we're I'm already down the Advanced Dungeons and Dragons first edition route already, so I'm a firm believer. And I've never played any other versions anyhow, so I can't criticize anything else that's come afterwards. I just don't know. I've never played second edition. I didn't even know second edition even existed for a while. It was probably only until I got into the noughties or the tens that and then it's gone on to fifth edition now, I believe. I do try to keep. I'm trying to keep up to date a bit with current developments and whatever. And I just think, well, I'm just not interested in getting involved in any of that. And, I just play my own game, and I think I'm just going to stick to the first edition. If you knock yourself out, if you like your fifth edition and fourth edition and third, and I've heard the second edition is terrific too. They have different type of games. It's like saying, slagging off RuneQuest and saying, oh, that's a load of rubbish. It's not like AD&D. It just doesn't get you anywhere. There's no point. I've enjoyed every single role-playing game I've played, and I'm sure if I played fifth edition, I'd love it too. It just depends on how you approach it. So the only bias I've got for Advanced Dungeons and Dragons first edition is that it's the only system I know for Dungeons and Dragons, apart from going back to basic, which I don't really plan to do. I found that a bit limiting, and this is more your kind of mature version of D&D. The Advanced Dungeons and Dragons. This is where we get proper character classes. It's not like you don't have an elf as a class. I never liked that. You have an elf that is a ranger or does something specific, and I think the whole charm of the Advanced Dungeons and Dragons, all these quantities of rules stacked upon them, and as you pour through it, it's a very evocative of this fantasy world, and I don't really get it as much from basic D&D, because I was thinking of maybe doing a basic D&D solo campaign. And to be honest, I thought, well, I'd just be copying a lot that's in here. I'd probably be plundering this half the time. So I thought, well, what's the point? Why don't I get past the learning curve on this, and then do a campaign that I really want. Okay, this isn't really getting us onto the magic. Shall we do the magic treasure? Yes. Right. So I've got my pad ready. I've got my dice roller. I think it's in camera. Yep, we're in business. So the D20. Let's see what the magic item is, and we'll interpret it thereafter. So 5. That's probably quite good, because that's going to keep it low level, low key. 1 to 5 is any item rolled on magic item table plus 4 potions. Okay, so we're going to have a magic item and we're going to have 4 potions. Now, if you look at the potions, this is going to be done. And I think with potions, we probably won't be able to... When we got potions back in the day, we used to do like those little things where you kind of sip it a bit and you think, oh god, I'm growing wings, or but it wouldn't really do very much. It would just give you like a tingle, and then you'd be able to realize what it was. But I think maybe in this campaign, I would quite like. It requires a bit of research to understand what we've got. So I'm just going to have, maybe say we got dragon control. Maybe our elf might have a bit of a basic idea what it is, because he's a magic user, but and the rest of them, they probably wouldn't know. All they see is maybe a blue liquid in a vial, and they think, oh, I don't know what that is. It could be poison, it could be anything. And what we need to do is actually get it back to some form of sage or a specialist who can confirm. The elf might, Lindris might be able to say, I have had an experience of potions, and I have heard of this coloured liquid, and it's being associated with some form of dragon taming or whatever. But it could also be, say, fire resistance as well, which is also a very similar hue. I think I really need it to be confirmed. So he could maybe narrow down the options, but he needs a specialist like a sage. And luckily, we've got a couple of sages back in Marchton. We've got the official Rubicus, and we've got Runix, the aged, if he's still alive, because he was 120. So there's always the risk every time you go back to Marchton that unfortunately Runix has passed on to something better. But if he's still on the go, he might be he might know about dragon control. Okay, so we'll do the potions first, because there's going to be 4 of them. So let's roll percentage dice. So we get our percentage dice out, and we'll do this first one. So we get a 58. 58 is levitation. There we go, levitation, which is 58 to 60. Now, the experience point value is 250, and its sale value is 400 gold pieces. And I think there is a mechanism when you're trying to sell, you have to take a bit of a discount. I think it's a 10%. And then I'm going to bring in taxes and all sorts of things that Seawood would probably levy. So if we go back to Thudebert's Emporium, and we're trying to sell this, he might say, well, I've got to pay, I'm going to have to make my share and all that kind of stuff. And I've got all these taxes to pay. So I'm only going to give you 300 gold pieces. But it's, market value is 400 as we consult our tome, our AD&D tome. He said, well, I can't help you out, boys. This is the economics of this frontier society. But that's a good start. It's levitation, potion 1. So we have a potion, levitation. Right, potion 2. And we'll do that as number 1. Potion 2, 86. Potion 2 is speed. So that's experience points value 200, gold piece value 450. Okay, so, and remember on the experience, that's 450 experience points, which is great. That's going to help boost our little pool. So we might be, after this adventure, and we've quantified all the different the treasure items, and just exactly all the different monsters that we've slain, we might be in the position that we've got, we're approaching maybe even a level break, potentially. I'm not, it really depends on maybe getting a significant magic item to get us over that hump. But, that's good news. And if say we get one of our guys up to 2nd level, what a start that would be from our first adventure. Okay, so speed. And who doesn't like a potion of speed? Good. That's our potion 2. Right, so potion 3 is 61. 61 is longevity. No, that is. Now, who would not want a potion of longevity that would last forever? Having reached my 60th year on this mortal plane, a nice potion of longevity, thank you very much. Or maybe give me another 10, but I don't want to like being decrepit. Maybe like Runix, who's 120 and is a bit decrepit, and he's now foul and barbaric too. He's a bit unhygienic. I'd like to maintain maybe my vigorous youthful self with. So it'd be interesting. Well, I tell you, once we've done the next one, we'll have a look at these, just as out of interest, and see what they are, because it's sometimes quite good to read the blurb on these. And in fact, that's half the joy of the game, is that you find out what some of these things are. And the other thing, going back to the original point, it bounces off some ideas as well. You know, having these, we haven't had these in the game before, potions. So this is a new thing for us. So 70. 70, filter of love. I don't know what that is. Filter of love. Filter of love is our fourth one. So let's have a quick check of, so what do we have first? We had levitation. So levitation probably speaks for itself, really, isn't it? How does this work? Potions. Is that alphabetical order? Oh, table. All right. So what is it? Table 3A. Table 3A. That's a bit closer to home. 3E. Protection. 3B. So that's 3B. That's scrolls. Rings. Rings. Rods. Rods. Wands. Do we not have a potion one? That's strange, isn't it? Let's have a look at potions in the index. Now, I suppose my excuse for this, I didn't know that we were going to get potions, but potions. Random use of 119, 125. I thought there were information on all the different types of potions. Let me just do a quick flick of, because they might suddenly just jump out. Maybe the potions aren't individually described. I thought they were, but that's a boat. It should be near the front because it's 3 staffs, rings, rods, notes, ring, scrolls, rings. Oh, here we go. Levitation. A levitation potion enables the consumer to levitate in much the same manner as the second level magic user spell of the same name. The potion allows levitation of the individual only, subject to a maximum weight of 6,000 gold pieces equivalent, so it's possible that the individual drinking the potion could carry another person. Wow. How long does that... Yeah. So I suppose the time duration will be as per the spell. Okay, so that's useful. So say we got all those silver pieces and we wanted to get them up the side of our sinkhole. We could maybe drink this and then we could carry it. But then Tristan's probably, he could carry it by himself. It's that kind of thing. Maybe if you want to do something really quite, you know, you have to use quite a lot of strength and you have to lift something. This can rise it up. It's almost like having a kind of hoverboard type thing, and you could make, you know, levitate and you can lift it up. Okay, so that's levitation. There's speed. Potion of speed increases the movement and combat capabilities of the imbiber by 100%. Wow. Thus, a movement rate of 9 becomes 18, and a character normally able to attack but once per round would gain double. Oh, right. So this is useful, isn't it? The other effects last from 5 to 20. The aging is... Oh. Use of the speed potion ages the individual by 1 year. Oh my goodness, what a side effect. Now this is where it gets important, your age, doesn't it? You imagine that was Adelind, and she was 38. 2 more years she becomes middle-aged, doesn't she? And then you have penalties. You start becoming older. You get your strength goes down, whatever. Maybe your intelligence and things goes up, but you start getting... So this is where mortality starts to come in. You know, obviously for an elf or whatever, they're not really too bothered about that, but let's say for a human. Okay, that's an interesting... On the flip side, here's longevity. Longevity. Okay, the longevity potion reduces the character's game age by from 1 to 12 years when it is imbibed. But each time one is drunk, there is a 1% cumulative chance that will have the effect of reversing all age removal from previously consumed. Oh my goodness, the potion. So this is one of these horrible ones that, yeah, it's like the. Have you ever watched this new film, The Substance? It's a bit like that. The more you take, the worse, the more side effects you get. The potion otherwise restores youth and vigor. It also is useful to counter magical or monster-based aging attacks. The entire potion must be consumed to achieve the results. Yeah, that's a bit like the substance. Got very specific rules about how you should do it, and don't break the rules, because if you break the rules, it's not a very nice outcome. Okay, so that's longevity, and we can do our filter of love. The filter of love. This potion is such as to cause the individual drinking it to become charmed with the first creature seen after consuming the draught, or actually become enamored and charmed if the creature is of similar race and of opposite sex. Charming effects wear off, but the enamoring effects will last until. All right, so we could use being rather underhand. Maybe we could use the filter of love on Adelind, because she's of similar race and opposite sex. That's a rather underhand tactic. I'm sure Dagobert's order would be saying, no, we're going to have to. We put the female, the woman, on a pedestal type thing. It's unchivalric to be contemplating that kind of thing. But this gives you a kind of an appetite for what. So we've got four potions we've found in the scattered over the floor, because this is the electrum, and maybe there's kind of debris and all sorts of stuff all over the place. But there is a chance for a magic item, and we have this table here, magic item. And that's what we roll on. Yeah, the magic items table. So we roll a percentage on that, and let's see what we get. So this is the big roll. That's going to be quite important in what happens. So here we go. 82. 82. Ooh. Swords. G. Okay. This could be the lost sword of Dunmorna. It's being carried by some ancient, lawful evil anti-hero. It could be evil. It could be a cursed evil blade like Stormbringer or something that it's got some soul sucker. You can get these, in this. You can get like horrible blades that have a mind of their own, like Stormbringer. Here we go. This is the swords table here. Now, remember what I said about capping, and I think we're not going to have some amazing like Holy Avenger, or it's going to have to be measured. So I would say experience point value. We will have a cutoff at, say, about 1,000. Let's do 1,000, because I'm just looking down here, and we could probably get away with some of these. And look at all the gold piece value. Let's just generate it first and see. We haven't really had this opportunity before. What a difference this is to 1,000 silver pieces. So let's see. We've done everything per the rolls so far. We've got these 4 potions. They're not fantastic potions, and that's good. So we're not overpowered there. So let's see what we get with the sword. So we have a 55. So according to the 55 roll, sword +2. Okay. It's 800 experience points, and it's 4,000 gold pieces. Wow. And a sword +2, I don't see that in. I think even Seaward, he only had a +1 sword. He has some pretty good armor and stuff from memory. I think his lieutenant had was it the Battle Axe of Bane? Dinral or something. That was in its ancient tongue. I think that was +2. So, we haven't really come across, or obviously we haven't really experienced too much magic weaponry, but, even by big NPC characters, maybe Hador, what was it, the chap, the investigator, Halas, he might have had a magic blade. He's probably more likely to have a sword that is, say, +1 or +2 as well. Okay, 70% of swords are long swords, 20% are broadswords, 5% are short swords, 4% are bastard swords, and 1% are two-handed swords. So I think you just roll a percentage for that, and that's 1 to 70, and that's to 90, and that's 95, and that's 99, and that's 100. So let's roll to see what type of sword it is. It's 72. So it is a broadsword. Yeah, because that would be 72. 20% are broadswords. Okay, so we've got a sword +2. So that's our whole. Sword +2. So let's just have a quick recap on where we are. We are in this room here, which we have mapped. There's been 3 skeletons that we have defeated. They have had a treasure hole scattered across the floor, which we've taken time to pick up, which has been 750 electrum pieces. Within all the debris lying around and just the general state of decay and whatever, we found 4 vials, four potions that we don't really know what they are. We haven't had time to examine them. We think, right, let's just put them in our backpacks, keep them safe and keep them padded and whatever. And they're probably best to go in our backpacks. And also, when we were kind of, maybe moving one of the skeletons, kind of remains, its ring mail, we discover, in fact, maybe even the sword was being used by one. I suppose that's the thing about, you can't really kind of retrofit that after the event that one of the skeletons was using the sword. We'll just have to say that the sword was lying on the floor. And so it's under a pile of rubble. Lindra says, look what I found. Here's a broadsword. And it's got, I am sure it's got runic markings in its on its blade. This looks like a significant blade. I can, he feels the edge of it and goes, yeah, I can sense something going on here. Maybe maybe what we need to do is take these back to the sage Rubicus in Marchton and ask him, maybe for a small fee, what each of these things are, and then we might be able to convert them into some gold. But they basically come to the agreement that as far as this adventure is concerned, they have hit the mother lode on this place. They feel that this is a sufficient haul for them to consolidate their position and maybe venture back to Marchton. The only other thing that they really need to do is maybe think about the other treasure that they've got, and the only item that they think is maybe transportable at this stage, maybe just gather up the glands, the fire beetle glands, and take them back. So looking at the time, they say, well, we've got plenty of time, but the longer we stay here, we're going to have a rest. In fact, they're going to have a rest session now. And then there's a wandering monster check. Ooh, yeah, that's what happens. And then I think if there's no wandering monster, fingers crossed, Dagobert says, I think what we need to do is get back to that our safe room as quickly as possible. Our safe room on level 1, as quickly as possible. Gather up the glands, and then head back to where we came in and get back up the exit the place from the where we entered today, which was down the sinkhole. And they say that sounds like a good plan, Dagobert. But we really feel quite exhausted now. I think we just need a bit of a rest. So we have this rest period, which we have already got 6 here, which will go into that. So while we are resting, which will go into the next, so we'll probably have to carry that 6 forward. So it'll be 1 hour elapsed. Again, and we go to 12:30. Turn, and we've got 6 down here. So just get rid of that. We have a wandering monster check. Now we don't. I suppose the advantage after, you know, when we went on the day 4, we had left our rope out, and there was a higher chance of it being spotted. So we had a 1 or a 2 on a D10. It's back to a 1 in 10, but it's still a scary prospect of having a wandering monster. So let's see what we get, and pray. You know, Dagobert's praying on his mace of Bane for anything apart from a 1. It's a 4. Okay, good. So they've finished the rest period. It goes into the next hour. They look at their timepiece. Probably their hourglass, and think, all right, it's 12:30 on our hourglass. We're going to have to try and get back to our room. So looking at the geography, yeah. Now, this is, you know, actually when they're thinking about it, they think, well, we know this is all empty. We're going to have to get back down our chute, our chimney. So we can do that. Yeah, so that's going to be, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. So that's probably about 3, because we're saying we do every round we go 990. So that's 3 rounds then to get round there. So we do that on here. So we got to 9 to get round there. We get back down our chute. I say that was going to take maybe 1 to 3 to navigate that down. It only takes us 1, so we're up to 1 turn. We get down onto level 1 here. We pop up on this one here. We go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Where are we going? Yeah, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. So that's another 3 rounds. Get to our thing. That's 3 there. Yep, because we open this. Lindris knows exactly what to do. We see our oil, our flask of oil, a couple of spears. We think, right, we're not going to do anything with them just now. We're just going to leave them. There's the silver pieces. They think, shall we take some? They think, no, I think we've got enough here. Let's just keep them there just now. And also there's a sack with the glands in. And they say, all right, okay, we'll gather them up, and we'll get back we'll have to get back out this way here. So they go, that's effectively 27 round there. And say that's 20, say it's 20 to get to there. 21, 22, 23. Oh, I'm going the wrong way. 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. So another 3 rounds to get round. So we're up to that 6. And then I would say that it just takes about a round to get here up the spiral staircase in the tower. And then Tristan climbs on up. Let's see if he does it without any form of mishap. He has an 85% chance. 80, yeah, he does it okay. He lowers the rope down. The other characters carefully climb up using the rope. They get to the top. There's a very strong wind blowing now. It's midday. It's still quite light. There's, even though the darkness of Dunmorna is oppressive, the fact that we've got this really strong wind that's coming from the west is clearing away quite a lot of the smoke that would otherwise kind of hover around. It's very unpleasant on our characters, but they are traveling northwards, so the wind is coming from the left, basically, into the the side of their faces, but they can put their cloaks up and they kind of hide behind their cloaks a bit. They get back up to the only thing we do need to check for is when we get to the end of the crevasse, whether we come into Wandering Monster territory. And it's noon, isn't it? So in the hills, noon, hills, moderate to sparse patrolled, I would say, as they come into that hill area. Because when you remember our hex, that we go into these gentle hills. These gentle hills are so we come to the end of the crevasse, the side of it, into these gentle hills that heading up towards the military road. I would say there's an encounter chance there as we enter into these hills, and it's a 1 in 12, I would say, because it's sparsely patrolled, sparsely populated. So let's see what we get. We get a 10. So there's no encounter. We reach the military road about, that's going to take, so we leave about 12:40, say it's 12:50, it's taken us about, maybe make it 1 o'clock we leave, 1 o'clock leave the dungeon. It's half an hour, 30 minutes to the end of the crevasse, and then it's 2 hours. So that's 1:30. We're going to be back by 3:30. So we head back along the military road. We get back to Marchton. We look at each other and think, oh, well, wasn't that a stressful episode? We feel good inside ourselves that we have achieved something. We've got plenty of things inside our backpacks for us to consider when we get back to the Green Dragon Inn. Go through our inventory and think about how we're going to basically how we translate this this treasure into some form of monetary form that we can use for experience, and we can also use as a kind of means of maintaining ourselves, and maybe buying some training. So that's what we can maybe cover in our next session. I don't think I've got anything else specifically that I was wanting to talk about. No, I think that's been quite a good session for, certainly from the characters' point of view. They've what they did at the start of this of today was say, look, let's just roll the dice one more time. Dagobert says, I've got a strong feeling that we're going to get, all our hard efforts are going to be paid off, and they have. And even though it was a bit of a one-sided contest against the skeletons, it could quite easily have gone another way, and they would have three rather lethal adversaries that they would have had to take on. They were fortunate, and I think it's about time that they had a bit of luck in their favour. The treasure that's been generated, it hasn't been over the top. It's almost come, the dice have almost like modified themselves and not provided too much of a freeload to the characters. But they do have sufficient resources now in their backpacks for them to consider what their next stage is going to be. So I think I'm just going to leave it there. The next episode, I think I'll go through exactly what they've got and how they're going to turn that into some form of material wealth for them to continue with their mission. Okay, well, it just leaves me to say thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.